We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. But, you know what? I'm okay with this. The year is 3192. Mankind, the Brotherhood of Man, lies on its knees. The solar system has been invaded by a coalition of aliens from the Triangulum Galaxy, and they're not letting up without a fight. All of you, the colonies file one by one, giving valiant efforts to hold off the invaders. However, Earth lies enshrouded by a great constellation of enemy spaceships about to lay siege to mankind's homeworld. A group of crack commandos, however, are ready to break into the Triangulum Alliance's headquarters on the newly conquered Mars and kill their hive mind leader. These crack commandos have nothing to do with the whole, which is set in 2025 in Somalia. Hello, welcome to the whole. I'm Phil Shifley, lawyeroid, investoid, and what else do I do? Podcaster, that's it, yes. We are, welcome back to the whole, one of the most cherished podcasts in the scientific and social. Yes, Brian, blessed space. I remember I was at the podcast convention where podcast guys go to, and Lex Friedman came up to me and kissed me on the mouth. So did... And he said, Shifley, your efforts to bringing the light of science and global politics, culture, and disabled chihuahuas to the public, unparalleled. And he really went in for the tongue as well, I have to add. Anyway, let's have a round. Before we have our round table, roll intro.
You've fallen into the hole.
Anyway, let's have a round table of our guests today. But first, I would like to welcome our special guest onto the show today, Albert Einstein. What?
Guten Tag.
Oh, hang on, I need to close my door.
Welcome, Al. We're really happy to have you here. But I don't think the guest caught what we said.
I didn't catch what you said. See, since the explosion, I was at... let's take us about my holiday in Beirut. I was playing with matches near this great big fuel depot, and, I hadn't quit smoking yet. I'd gone on nicotine patches. I must say, smoking with nicotine patches, now there's a buzz. I said quit smoking then. I'm back on this stuff now. But I can't really hear that well anymore, especially because you know how we can't see anything down here.
I haven't seen anything in the last 30 years.
I mean, 30 years? How long? Well, anyway, we'll get back onto the concept of time dilation later with our special guest star, Albert Einstein. What?
Philip Shifley, I do not know why you kidnapped me from the hole.
We'll get onto that later.
I was enjoying rest.
Let's have a little roundtable of our guests and regulars here today. Starting with Mango. Mango, can you give the audience a little bit of information about yourself and what you've been doing since our last recording?
I stand behind the camera.
Awesome. And always remember, you don't have to teach. If they count as like abhumans or like rat people in a way, you don't have to teach them to read. I feel like I've treated you, Mango, like a son to me. Much like my other sons, who I haven't had any interactions with past the age of 5, because my bitch of an ex-wife, Tatiana, decided to go back to Belarus.
But I think Belarus is quite a bad place to be.
Well, yeah, I've been, imagine trying to get custody through the United Nations. Let me tell you, Saudi Arabia may be on the Human Rights Commission, but they're not on the Divorce Commission, which is a serious problem. Anyway, our other guest, Corey. No, sorry, I said your dead name. Sorry, Bobo Hercules Bronson.
Wow. Okay. We've been rolling for like 5 minutes, and you only. I'm the co-host. Why would you only introduce me now?
I thought I was the co-host.
Well, no, you're the editor.
Oh.
I thought I was the co-host.
No, you're
How could you do this to me?
well.
No, you're a guest.
Well, you're a guest
You
turned
insist.
You're a guest who fell down here. Mango was born down here, and Bobo was here day one.
I think I'm
So
actually
I
completely
don't think it's
blind.
right for you to introduce me right at the end like that.
Well, and it's not even at the end because I haven't introduced Dr. Church yet.
It's just I don't feel appreciated here.
You're on your
shadow.
You're on your man period.
It's not a man period. I have feelings.
It's not a man period. It's a hemorrhoid. Damn it! And they burst.
Well, it's the same thing.
Sanguis vita est.
Anyways, our next guest, Dr. Church, returning guest. Well, we say returning, but he's been here the whole time. We've just had to exclude him for a couple episodes. What are you doing?
Yes. They kept me locked in the back cellar. You see. Yes, I am the Dr. Leonard Church. Yes.
Wonderful. And last but not, well, we've already introduced Albert Einstein. So let's get on to our brief sponsorship here before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, of Boost Mobile.
Where you at, dog?
Right. Dish Wireless LLC, doing business as Boost Mobile,
Oh,
is an
I think we're just
Where you
referring
at,
to it
dog?
now.
what?
I thought we're adding that in post.
No. Okay, you know what? You've ruined it. No more Boost Mobile forever. I want that taken off the
Where you at,
soundboard.
dog?
That's it forever.
I don't know how to do that. I just press the symbols.
Anyway, let's get on to the meat and potatoes of today's interview. Albert Einstein. So we got a little question, some prepared for our viewers here. Now we know that we've been covering physics here on The Hole since when CERN created a black hole and destroyed the Earth. We've been covering it when there was a human sacrifice outside CERN in front of the statue of Kali. We've been following it. We've been doing physics, since Stephen Hawking went to Jeff Epstein. My buddy Jeff Epstein, by the way. We're on a nickname basis. I call him El Jefe. Thank you, guys. I call him El Jefe when he had Stephen Hawking on it. So we've got a few questions to do with relativity today, and a lot of your research. So my first question, Albert, is what's it like being married to your cousin?
It is very interesting. You see, it's like living in the womb again. But this time, I'm free. And I can enter and exit whenever I wish.
Thank you, Albert. I mean, that is a fascinating thing. Would you say that being married to your cousin gives you any extra insights into physics?
Of course it does. You see, my genius brain is on such a high wavelength that I need to inbreed to decrease my intelligence so I can speak to mere mortals.
So, would you say you've ever had any revelatory moments? For instance, would you say that your cousin, your cousin/wife, did she ever give you any ideas for the curvature of space-time that you come up with during, in order to explain the seeming force of gravity? We know that from your we know that from your field equations that it's not necessarily an actual force.
Yes, you see, one time when I hit her and she fell to the floor, it gave me the idea.
And what would you say about now? As everyone knows, you died in 1950. Mango, can you get up when Albert Einstein died, please?
Let me consult text here.
Yeah, I had a question for Albert.
1776.
Yes, so we all know you died in 1976. I believe that was around the time when black holes were first being discovered. Would you say that there's any serious resemblance? Now, we've had the images of black holes come through recently, ever since we resurrected you from the dead with our magic in the hole. Because magic is now canon in the hole. By the way, this is never going to be mentioned ever again. What would you say? Would you say there's any resemblance between that of your cousin wife and the black hole images we've discovered?
Yes, the resemblance is striking to the black eyes I constantly give her.
Wonderful, Albert. Wonderful. Now, can you give us some? Do you have any interesting stories from your days at the patent office in Zurich before you really took it big with your whole physics shindig? You know, because personally, I'm a big fan of your early work when you're working in a patent office and doing stuff that nobody will remember you for, rather than the whole groundbreaking physics stuff. You know, I love going over all those patents you approved, which everyone's forgot about.
Personally, I would have preferred you didn't do any physics, actually, to stay in the patent office.
One of my favorite patents that I approved was the chicken gloves. You see, what you'd have to do is fist a chicken to make it into a boxing glove, as well as your opponent does the same, and then you'd punch each other to death.
That's very creative.
Thank you.
Wonderful, Albert.
Well, I actually have a question for you, Albert. Do you know what a chopped cheese is?
Say again?
Do you know what a chopped cheese is?
No.
Okay, there's this sandwich. They call it a chopped cheese, which I don't know why you would chop cheese. But it also has beef in it. So I'm not sure why they call it a chopped cheese. What does that have to do with relativity? And why is that relatively stupid?
That is actually a very smart question. So, you see, as the cheese naturally is round, much like the globe, it has its own gravitational force that must be broken down and must be chopped. The gravitational force must then be counteracted by the beef in the bread, thus making the chopped cheese.
I don't think that really answers my question, but thank you anyways.
Albert, can we stick in your patent office work? I've got an invention I'd like to propose. In fact, we don't have a sponsorship this episode. This is because I'm bringing up my own sponsorship here. So I mentioned my background in engineering before I decided to go. In fact, I completely lied about being a lawyer earlier. I am, by trade, an engineer. A gas engineer, by the way. However, I've been moving into the field of dentistry. And not the actual field of dentistry, which consists of a giant rolling hill of teeth. And you need to have an army of people brush them every single day, or else the cavities win, damn it. And I just want to say that the cavities are not good, are not good, okay? Anyway, so any of you ever find that your teeth get too big in your skull? And they begin to grow... Overweight teeth. They begin to grow, fatten up, swell at the seams. I've even known some of my buddies, like Dr. Church. This happened to you, your father, if I believe. I remember I was at his funeral. I couldn't hold him, and one of his teeth just keeps growing and growing and growing. and piercing hit the bottom of the skull and got into his brain, and left him severely disabled. And then he slipped on a banana peel and fell into a threshing machine, much like Bippo. I have to say that was a pretty rough day for me, especially because that was the divorce proceedings with Tatiana and my two boys, Lichenko and Prawoznik. So anyway, the tooth clipper, you attach it to your. It's basically exactly the same as a nail clipper. However, it's got a much stronger bite force. So if you put it around your teeth and you crunch, especially where the nerves are, it can prevent teeth swelling. So would that get approved?
I spaced out for the entire conversation.
It will only get approved if you were to include a Hydron Collider into the design.
Wonderful, wonderful. I also have another proposal for dentistry, by the way. It's where you take, this is just, so I've been on a pretty bad diet recently, as everyone can attest. Basically nothing but chewing tobacco, and the problem is that has really led to some cavity growths. So I've invented a steel wire toothbrush. You know those steel wires you can get for cleaning things in the sink? Not that we have running water down here. We recycle our own urine, but
Yes, of course.
yes. So you take the steel wire toothbrush and you really get it against your gums to really get access to those dirty areas in your teeth. But we're not here to talk about dentistry. We're here to talk about insects.
Oh, I actually have a question.
Of course, Mango.
How would you design a Dyson sphere?
That is a great question. So I would firstly start with a fourth dimensional shape, specifically a cube inside of a cube, and then I would wrap it in bandages and throw it at, Mango.
This will help my morale.
Yes. Now, I also want to ask, would you mind giving us a comprehensive explanation of the photoelectric effect? And if it has anything to do, and if I bombarded your cousin wife with ultraviolet light, would she give off electrons?
For the second question, yes, give off electrons. With her giving off electrons, that would further power lampshades.
All right, I think we're getting off topic, and I think Dr. Church is feeling pretty neglected. How about we forward a few questions to him?
Yes.
Indeed. But first, I have a question for the late Albert Einstein, if you will.
Of course, Dr. Church.
Or ignore me, okay.
Yeah. Now, as you all know, many blame the invention of the atomic bomb on Mr. Oppenheimer. However, the atomic bomb was only ever created with the research made by yours truly, Mr. Einstein. Now,
Yes.
I have one question for you. If you were to make a second atom bomb, how would you go about this? How would you improve on that design?
That is elementary. I would firstly start with the equation again. E equals mc squared. But this time, I would change the squared to quadrupled. Keep the original design of the atom bomb, but shrink it down to the size of a pea, therefore making it deadly enough to destroy the planet.
Fine work, Mr. Einstein. Indeed.
Yeah, good talk.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Can we have a round of applause?
you hear
for
that?
Albert
Hank
Einstein?
Hill
Shut up!
for Fortnite?
Shut up! Can we have a round of applause for Albert Einstein, please?
Say that again. You just sort of saved it from a reality for a second.
Sorry, I was really angry because I need to keep on top of that. Jesus Christ, Tatiana. Anyway, yeah, can we have a round of applause for Albert Einstein, please? Damn, Albert's got hands. Wonderful. Now, let's move on to our roundtable discussion on the Wizards of Executive State and what's been going on with them recently. So, the Grandmaster Walpurgis, he has been casting a spell of never-ending frost on the zone, on the region of Zythalia. Now, what are we having for the Zythalians here? Do we reckon they've got enough mana to counter the spell?
You seem to out of reality at the end. I didn't quite catch that.
Do they have enough mana to counter the spell?
I think this is going to affect mass immigration to the European Union.
Yes. No.
Did he tap his land before doing so?
Did he tap his stuff?
Yeah, he did. No, like his land. You know.
Well, I mean, he's got a. I think there's a really big protest going on outside my house.
You have a house down here?
This is in an alternate universe where I'm just a regular kind of slightly weird guy from England. Anyway,
Unimaginable.
yeah, no. So there was so he did tap his land. So there's a little area, there's a little bridge of warmth in order to get to his dark evil wizard tower, which grew rather than being built in a way. It looks like a giant mound of basalt in a way. So how are we gonna deal with Grandmaster Walpurgis? Because that's an illegal act. It's an illegal invasion. There's an illegal infrosting of Zyphuria, and he's not listening to the Wizards of the Executive State.
Give him more power.
I'd suggest that we...
They had to hand Hill to Fortnite.
Yeah, send Hank Hill. He'll take care of it.
Yeah, round table.
More of a square.
Yeah, so. Who wants to hear sun facts?
Oh yes, please!
What
I
is
love
the
the sun.
Yes.
So somebody dropped a postcard down here with 5 amazing sun facts. These are 5 uncommon, unknown facts about the sun. I think our good friend Albert here, we're becoming fast friends. I think he's really going to like these because of black holes, right?
Yes.
Hang on a minute. You guys carry on. Just a second.
Alright, well, stop me if you've heard this one before. Sun fact number 1. If you drove from Earth to the sun, it would take a very long time.
That is very interesting. I honestly thought it would have taken 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, color me surprised.
I can't color you.
Okay, well, number 2. The sun is hot.
Honestly, I thought it was just a light bulb in the sky.
Well, yeah, light bulbs get hot. Even I know that. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Number 3.
He said it! He said it! He said the secret word! He said the secret word! You know what that means. You know what that means, guys. Get ready for it. He carries on with the bit.
You're reverbing again.
He carries on with the bit. He carries on.
I mean, no humans live on the sun. But if they did, they would be dead. We've got 2 more to go. Number 4, and this goes back to what our good friend Al here said about light bulbs. The sun is very bright.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, last fact, and stop me if you've heard this one before. 5. The sun is very big, very, very big.
Okay, that out of all of them, that one was the only one I did know.
So yeah, I guess I can just rip up this postcard now because we're not going to read it.
No. We need to teach.
Wait,
We
what?
need to teach Mango how to read if he's ever going to have a future outside of here. Look at us all. We're haggard old men sitting around a campfire which hasn't been lit in years. I'm the only. I've got a confession to make.
Oh,
What is your confession?
I'm the only one here with a working phone. But
You
there's-
what?
Where you at,
There's,
dog?
but the thing is, it's not mine. I stole it when I was last at Notting Hill Carnival, and that was after I bit several police officers. By the way, but so I was on the phone. So it's not mine, and the only thing it's logged in on is LinkedIn. Now, those of you who know me know that I'm a very, business-minded man, but sometimes, every man has needs, especially since Tatiana divorced me and took the kids to Kazakhstan. So every man has needs, and I'm going to be honest, the girls on LinkedIn, they really brighten my day. You were just talking about the sun. Well, they're my sunrise, okay? I go on LinkedIn and I go on, I see them. They mention their extracurricular experience. They mention the fact that they worked at a hotel, they worked at a pool garden, they worked in a pharmacy and whatnot. Mention their internships and everything. Their education, that's a good one. I like the ones who are from
getting a boner.
I like the ones from like the middling universities, not the really good ones, like the kind of lower tier Russell groups, or like the some of like Brown University or McGill in Canada.
I don't overnight.
Just like the little perky pictures where like they're happy and they're in the because I'm very desensitized to these kind of things. It takes a lot, but. The businesswoman. It really gets me going.
All right, listen. No one cares. That's enough.
I'm addicted to using LinkedIn for the purposes of
That's enough
masturbating.
out of you. We're gonna keep rounding the table, okay? Dr. Church.
Yes.
You know they added Hank Hill to Fortnite.
You mentioned this.
Yeah, well, nobody responded.
I am Hank Hill from Fortnite.
God dang it, Bobby!
That's a lie.
We didn't get the victory royale.
To a unit of time.
In my
I'm sorry?
Time travel is horrifying. Never
What?
do this.
2 weeks. How can they add this Hank Hill to time?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Mandarin.
Okay, so
Moving on.
here's a question for you, Dr. Church. So, if you met a little Homo floresiensis guy, now these are creatures from about 200,000 years ago, who they're like human beings, but they're only about like 3 foot tall at most. If one of them came up to you and he said he wanted to be your friend, would you be your friend? Would you be a friend with Homo floresiensis? A little hobbit guy, basically, but he's like he's not civilized. He's only got like an IQ of 50. And all he does is like hunts little elephants.
I do not think a friendship with a being so small is attainable in any fashion. I mean, how would they even reach the swing set? You can't go to the swings with them. And for 50 IQ, what conversation would you have with such creature?
I mean, I know what I would tell her. I would tell her that all the bad girls are on LinkedIn.
I think you're Hank obnoxious. I don't think I like it.
We should take you home.
I have a question.
A question for who?
Well, the one that's all in our mind, of course.
Go on.
What is a chopped cheese sandwich?
But, I think this is a really good thing to have like a discussion with.
We've talked about this.
No, we didn't. No, we
We've
didn't.
talked about it.
No, we didn't. Okay.
It's the cheese. They chop it. They put beef in, and it makes no sense.
Hang on. I'm getting a call on my rotary telephone. Hello. Yes, Tatiana.
He has two of those.
Yes, Tatiana. Yeah, I got one for the purposes of stalking women on LinkedIn, and really enjoying myself to the profiles. And I got one for communication with Tatiana. Yes, dear. Well, not dear. What's that? Little Kisienko. What's wrong with him?
Tatiana, I will see you next week.
You're not allowed to feed him chopped cheese sandwiches, okay? We don't know what's in them. Ugh. What did you say, Albert Einstein?
Give her my love.
What did you say? Because if we're not getting to the bottom of what a chopped cheese sandwich is made up of, then we're not. Because that's all we've got. That's all we got for food here.
What's the difference between sliced and chopped cheese?
Chopped, you fucking idiot. It's chopped.
Tis the method of its creation.
Bubba,
Cheese!
Bubba, I'm blind. I don't know what you're talking about.
I believe we are missing one Albert Einstein.
Yeah, no, Albert.
I need cigarettes.
Oh, there he is.
Albert.
How do they do it, man?
How did he do what?
How do they chop a cheese?
Well,
you don't chop cheese, you slice cheese.
Well, no, I mean, if you...
They must
with a knife.
Oh, and how is the cheese predominant in the name if they add a protein to it? Because if you make a sandwich, you name it after the protein.
Well, no, what about a grilled cheese sandwich?
There's no protein in grilled cheese.
What do you mean? Of course there's protein in grilled cheese. It's cheese. Why do you think little girls and boys...
Meat substance!
Yeah.
Beef!
Okay.
Chicken!
Okay.
Pork.
So what is it? Is a grilled cheese a nothing sandwich then?
Yes, because you put cheese in it. You don't put meat in a grilled cheese sandwich.
Debatable.
Well, yeah, you can put...
No, because then it's a cheese and beef sandwich.
Well, no, it's still a grilled cheese if you put little bits of chorizo in it. Like, come on.
No, that's fried chorizo, cheesy queso sandwich.
I wish we had a grill.
Yeah. I wish we had a ladder to get out of the hole. It's
This makes me so angry. Never bring up this subject again around me.
Yeah, clearly. Oh, I just feel like I can't get through to you anymore, man. I remember when we started this when we were just out of college, just out of our surfing days, just out of our skateboarding days, you know? We had long hair. We just wanted to conquer the podcasting world, you know?
I was bald and disgusting and divorced.
I just don't know if I can do this with you anymore, man. We need to go to podcasting counseling.
Look,
It doesn't feel like an estranged marriage, yes.
I'm willing to put in the work if you want.
I'm willing to stop doing it to LinkedIn girls.
Take this man's phone away.
It's been
I think that's a big move on your part.
It's been
and I respect that.
It's been a problem. It's been a problem. And I also
Anyways,
promise...
moving on. You guys know it's Bring Your Car to Street Day? You know, like Bring Your Kid to Work Day?
Nope.
Well, now you can bring your car to the street instead of bringing your kid to work. It's a national holiday.
Yes.
No?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be bringing my I'll be bringing my 2003 Ford to Goldhawk Road in Shepherd's Bush.
I just bought like a Hot Wheels, but okay.
Well, Hot Wheels are pretty cool. You can go. No, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I love them.
Yeah. Albert, would you? I've just got one. I've got a question here for you. So, what was your reaction when Arthur Eddington used a solar eclipse to predict the location of various stars that would be bent into being visible by the sun's mass that were only visible during a solar eclipse? So. Essentially,
I'm going to.
Well, I'm not done with the question, Albert. I'm not done with the question. Like, seriously, have some respect, okay? Have some fucking respect. Quiet.
Is what a bullshitter. I told him about those dates. I told him everything, and then he steals the credit.
I don't think Arthur Eddington did that. But anyway, I mean, what I was gonna say is that. Yeah, what would you say to the accusations that it wasn't a solar eclipse? He really just used a large artillery weapon left over from the First World War to fire your fat cousin wife into orbit and to have that go around the sun.
That wouldn't work. You would need. An artillery piece is too small. You would need a massive slingshot to throw her into orbit.
I'd like to say I'm addressing a generalized concept of the idea of Albert Einstein's fat cousin wife. I mean, no disrespect to the actual
Cousin what?
The actual to Elsa Roventhal. Wow, he really did marry his cousin. That's interesting. Anyway, and what do you have to say about the idea that the cosmological constant? What are your thoughts on the cosmological constant and the accelerating expansion of the universe?
So you see, everyone gets it wrong. Space, they say. Space affects time, and time affects space, but that is completely incorrect. It actually is space affects time, time affects space, and I affect Uranus.
I feel that was really lowbrow. There are much better ways of doing space jokes, to be completely honest. Anyway, gentlemen, shall we move on to the quiz phase and call it quiz phase before we return Albert Einstein, liquid Albert Einstein to the grave?
Yeah, the round table is now square. We're going to move on to the quiz phase.
Yes, we're quiz phase. Okay, guys, this is between Dr. Church, Mango for an extra bit of rice pudding, and Albert Einstein. Coming up on the quiz phase.
I will have the rice pudding.
Yeah.
What is the time?
Are we talking military time or regular time?
We're talking we're talking church time.
Sure.
I see.
Sure.
This feels like a favorite question towards Dr. Church.
It is 6:79 p.m.
That's not a time.
I think the cathedral needs to orientate itself 32 degrees north and 45 degrees east for it to be that time.
Correct. Next, second.
I'm this close to calling you guys out on your bullshit.
I'm sorry. What?
How do we tell time down here? There's no light. None of us can see.
On solar, when it's a solar equinox, the sun does beam directly down the hole, and it is illuminated very briefly. However, I sedate most of you for this. I'm not going to go into any more detail. So, second question on the quiz. There will only be 3 questions on the quiz today because I cannot improvise this well. So, in last week's dogfight in Kerala, India, Mark Lucas's bloodhound, Ripper, squared off against John Luke's absolute XL bully Princess in the caged ring with razor blades tied to their paws. Now, what was the outcome of the match?
Princess
They
Diana
all had
was
a
dead
team.
from the start.
One at a time, please, boys.
Mr. Einstein, you go ahead.
Danko, they all had a tea party.
I don't think that happened.
No.
Was this tea party held in Boston, perchance?
Yes.
This is bad. Okay. Final question on the quiz. Final question on the quiz.
And as we all know, the rules for the final round is that the host is also allowed to answer.
Yes, the host is also allowed to answer. I'm sorry. What's a hoo-ha funny?
We should quiz them about the sun facts.
How many men have died constructing the tarp on the moon to permanently block it out?
I believe that would be 264 men. I believe it will rise to 65 by tomorrow.
Exactly 500,000.
57 and a projected 58 million thousand by next week.
Dr. Church, you get the extra rice pudding!
Yeah.
Yes.
Guten Tag.
Anyway, thank you for attending this next week or whatever is the season finale of season 3 of The Hole. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, guys. The quiz section's a real letdown. However, I think we really had some good moments there. And, hopefully the podcast will improve after me and Bobo get to go to podcast counseling. Bye!
Got it. Hope so.